Oh, hey, how are you? We good? Sorry, we're on? Yeah. All right, hey, who knew we were on? It's Michael Shure here at Hofstra University, and right now the debate has just ended moments ago. We're in the media room, which is going to transform itself into the spin room. There's sort of an alley that's been created here. I don't know if we can pick that up, and this is where the candidates will come by. Let's say that the debate itself lasted a little over an hour and a half, and Lester Holt moderated for NBC News. There was a lot of back and forth. You now see the families getting together. After the debate, this always happens. The Trumps talking to each other, and the Clintons amongst themselves. But one thing that is certain is that there's going to be a lot of talk about who won this debate tonight and what happened out there. And I think that when you look at this debate, this has been a season of no precedent. We've been following these debates. Donald Trump, I saw him debate in Cleveland last year and watched him debate every single Republican debate since then. And we haven't seen any precedent to the reaction he's getting. So to me, sitting in my seat tonight, it seemed like he was all kinds of crazy. He was all kinds of impulsive. He was far less prepared than Hillary Clinton. But again, when you do that and you sit there and you say, that's what I think happened, I wasn't always right, because I didn't think he would get where he was going. But to me, it certainly seemed like when it came to preparation, it came to plans. I've never seen a presidential candidate criticize the other candidate, as Donald Trump did today, for having a plan. I've never seen that. She talked about a plan. He said, now you're telling your plan. That's what you do at a presidential debate when he was talking about how to treat ISIS. I've never seen somebody boast about not paying taxes, about not paying somebody who worked for him. That's what Donald Trump did tonight, boasted about it. He called her unfit for office because she doesn't have the stamina to run for office. This is something we haven't seen before, but again, when that happens, we've grown accustomed to the fact that won't make a difference. And in my estimation, it was Hillary Clinton doing what she had to do. She was calm. She got engaged, but she didn't sort of go into a mode that made her unreachable to a lot of Americans. She had to do that. We're going to wait now. We're going to speak to how other people saw this, other people in the media, other people who are paid to tell you how they thought about it, who are surrogates to these candidates. And then we're going to go see if we can find some real people, some students here at Hofstra University, the real people, to tell us what they thought of this debate at their school. It's the first of 3 presidential debates. The next one, October 9th in St. Louis. Whatever you want.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I felt like, this is Eric Byler, I felt like the most disappointing thing as a person of color who also he spent a lot of time talking to Black Lives Matter leaders and to people in NAACP in the South, that Trump was given an opportunity to apologize for the racist birther conspiracy that basically launched his political career. His transition from professional wrestling into politics was the birther movement. Given an opportunity to apologize for that, he said, "I say nothing."
Yeah, and she didn't jump on that enough. The fact, I don't think that he didn't quite apologize for that. And of course, fact check PolitiFact said that her campaign and against Barack Obama in 2008 was not the one that started the birther movement. So there are opportunities that Secretary Clinton had not to jump in. Her first answer on race was kind of tepid, I thought, but then she came back and I think gave strong reactions on race. And I think that Donald Trump had no place to go right now. And so I think that when you look at that, you had Lester Holt asking questions about race and re-asking. Yeah, of course we're getting pushed everywhere here. This is what they call the scrum. But whether or not it matters if you win, or B, whoever did win tonight, the point is that both candidates were for the first time interacting with each other at the end of the debate saying, hey, listen, if the other person wins, I'm going to accept that. Trump has hinted that he might not accept that. And that doesn't really matter. Right now it doesn't matter. It may matter in November.
If he goes down by 10 points again, he might say he won't accept it.
That's exactly right. And we'll see how that goes. Already you see now some of the big placards for the surrogates. I see one from Marsha Blackburn, Congresswoman from Tennessee, who was here for Trump. I see Claire McCaskill, the senator from Louisiana. If you can see it down there, she will be speaking on behalf of Secretary Clinton. McCaskill late to the Clinton train, an Obama supporter last time, but did come around finally this year. This is sort of what happens. We wanted to see the machinations of how this works, and this is kind of how people come together. We have press from all over the world again, and they are all trying to get the reactions of presumably Donald Trump, who's going to walk through here. And we should say that Donald Trump has consistently come into the spin room after each debate. Hillary Clinton not once in this debate season, this debate year, came through the into the spin room. One had more to gain, and one plays this a lot better generally, so that's probably why. But one's a showman, and the other is not quite a showman. So I think also one of the touchstones of this debate is going to be to see how people saw the temperament of Trump for the first time against Hillary Clinton. He interrupted her constantly. Hillary Clinton ran a Senate campaign against a Congressman, Rick Lazio, who was too aggressive, it was seen. And it was in that debate that it was determined in 2000 that Hillary Clinton was going to win that race. He left his podium, walked over to Clinton, invaded her space. Well, in this debate, it wasn't leaving his podium, but it was verbally going into her space, constantly interrupting. Again, these are things that you criticize about Donald Trump because you've never seen anyone do it, but he's done it to great success. He is somebody who has managed to sort of break the rules and make them work, and if that happens in the general election, it would be more surprising than it was in the primary, but certainly not something that you could just say, no way could it happen again, because we've seen it work time and again here. Again, to sort of set the stage, all of the press are here lined up along a passageway, and this passageway has been blocked out by the United States Secret Service, who are here in droves now that we're in the general election. For a time, you didn't see too many of them. They were only assigned to Ben Carson, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, but now you're seeing them many more. And Bernie Sanders, yes, Bernie Sanders certainly got them. And I think for a certain point of the campaign, Ted Cruz got them at the end of the campaign as well. But yes, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton both had them as Democrats. And now they're kind of everywhere. This is a general election campaign, and there is a phalanx of them. And you also had Mike Pence here earlier. The running mate to Donald Trump was here with his cadre of security. Now, if you turn around, you can see a lot of the print journalists that are, don't come over to this area to ask their questions now. They'll get them from the surrogates. They're all in their places. You see Philip Rucker, you see Dan Balls, who we spoke to earlier, Karen Tumulty of the Washington Post, and they're all sitting typing away. Charlie Pierce from Esquire, everybody loves Charlie, walking through the hall with his Hawaiian shirt and his Diet Coke. He'll get to writing in a little while, so they don't need to stand along here, but the pictures are the pictures you want to get here.
The other thing that the question that he didn't answer, the most glaring one, was what do we do about terrorism here in the homeland? And he failed to answer it. He was asked twice.
Yeah, he talked a lot about law and order, but he didn't get specific on that. And, he also talked about stop and frisk, saying that, no, it wasn't found to be unconstitutional. It was a judge, a very angry judge. I don't really. No, it wasn't this time. No. This was he made something up. But anyway, of course, it was a court that said, and that's how it works in America. It was a court that said it's unconstitutional, and crime has dropped, and stop and frisk has dropped to 97% since 2011. And violent crime, murder, even though Donald Trump said murder is not down, murder is down in New York City since that happened. And, on issues of crime, that's a local issue to New York, but it's also an issue that people are talking about throughout the country. And he talked about it with Chicago, and he talked about it with Charlotte, but only as it related to the fact, each time punctuating it by saying, yeah, because I have a lot of companies there. I have companies in Chicago. I have companies in Charlotte. Great cities. I have companies there. So it's caring about them, the reason being that he has his own interest there. It seems that is something that he's trying to use to appeal to people, that he's in control deals. Hillary Clinton late in the debate also citing her experience when she said that when he said that she didn't have stamina to be president. She said, "I've been to 112 countries, negotiated peace deals, gotten hostages out, dissidents freed." Again, that is in the past. She was slightly younger anyway then, but trying to disprove the notion that she has no stamina, and I think easily done. But then Trump said, "Yeah, but they were bad deals." So it goes from the quality of from the stamina to the quality of the deal, and that seems to be an MO for Trump constantly. I think the TYT audience, they heard Bernie Sanders invoked only once, but Michael Moore, the filmmaker, the director, the Bernie Sanders supporter, was on Twitter today saying, "You can't, hey Bernie supporters, please find one single area in which you had disagreement with Hillary Clinton. You probably didn't tonight. She was on your side progressively." I'm sure there are going to be some people in our audience that say, no, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. But when you hear Michael Moore say something like that, it makes you stop and think that if Bernie Sanders voters want some of the things that they did want in the primaries in a general election, they're much more likely to get them from Hillary Clinton than they are from Donald Trump. And the wait continues here for anyone, from Claire McCaskill, Donald Trump, anyone who's going to come in here. Nobody is putting them in that order except for me, Claire McCaskill or Donald Trump. Trying to see maybe if we can find someone in the media who can talk to us a little bit here. There seem to be, you can always tell there's a jostling of cameras at a certain point, as if someone's going to walk in. Often it's just a security guy. Donald Trump has traveled, has his own security man. Keith Schiller has been his security man for quite a while, and his personal security man, and he has been sort of adopted almost by the Secret Service. He has sort of lead security with him still, but the Secret Service do their role and would step in.
I think one thing that Hillary said that Bernie supporters might not have liked to hear is that there are differing views on trade deals and on the current one on the table. And as Donald Trump pointed out, Barack Obama is on the other side of that argument. And so by acknowledging that there are valid arguments on both sides, I think that might be something that Bernie supporters, or at least the Bernie or bust people, wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say that Clinton, her husband, President Clinton, they have all looked at these trade deals differently and seen them not as black and white, but with some gray in them as well. And I think that that's pretty important because the way that they are able to frame them in convenient ways has always been something that the Clintons have been criticized for. Here we go. Donald Trump is coming in now. Okay, well, we are now there's a big push. Keith Schiller coming in and Trump coming in as well. We're going to try and see if we can get a question to him. See what people want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about the amount of money that he inherited versus the amount of money that he was given to start a business afterwards. How much money did he have? I also want to know who, and I've wanted to know this for a while, especially going to foreign policy debates. But, he talks about his Muslim friends. Who are they? Who are his Muslim friends?
He figured out what the nuclear triad is, 8 months later.
Yeah. Or today he also mentioned that Japan is in NATO. Japan is not in NATO.
Tell him we're going to cut and come back when we have Trump.
Okay, we're going to cut and come back as Donald Trump comes down the road here. But he's coming. We're not going to cut. Do not cut. We're here. We're here. Just hit me if I forget. Right? You know, like, not too hard. Trump now talking to that side, it looks like, to some of the foreign press gathered over there. There's an NBC mic, a Fox mic. Hard to see if he will come back to our side now, if he will tic-tac his way down here. But everybody in the gathered electronic press is kind of pushed up against us here, and you see members of his staff taking selfies. His lackey, I think that's Scavino, who runs some of his social media. And he's stopping to answer a few questions here. And relax. This is something that Donald Trump is pretty good at. He's come through these halls after debates many times. And he's working his way through now with his wife, Melania, stopping to talk. He thought it was great, apparently. Shocking none. Donald Trump thought that it was a good debate. He's talking to Mark Heilman at Bloomberg now, so he knows his spots. Sorry, yeah, Mark Halperin. No, it's Mark Halperin who he's talking to, and John Heilman's the other one. I'm only the 973,000th person to do that. But yeah, that's true. You see behind him Keith Schiller, the tall guy. That is his security.
If you go over, yeah. Over here.
Who stepped in? I can't believe this guy. Wow. Okay, here they come. And Kellyanne Conway behind him, largely credited with kind of corralling his message. And Steve Bannon also walking in with him.
Nice.
Steve Bannon, formerly of Breitbart. He's still talking to Mark Halperin. Or either of them. I mean, she went from Huckabee to Cruz to Trump in this election.
Just don't push too hard.
She's always been Huckabee.
Mr. Trump.
There she is.
Mr.
She
Trump.
comes.
Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, can you tell us? They asked you a little bit. Come on, quickly. Hillary Clinton asked you today about the money that was given by your father to you to start your business. What is?
It was a much smaller number.
What was the number? What was the number? What was the number? Well, it was a much smaller number apparently, but.
He said
All right. Well, what we did that not everybody did was get a question, but
smaller than 14 million.
smaller than 14 million. And you want to come in? Do you need in? Yeah. No, we're okay. We can move out. I will move for you any day. Yes, I will. Okay.
Try to mic whatever's happening, including her negotiating.
Yeah, of course. Well, we have ABC
And
trying to
if he's
talk to Steve
ignoring me,
Bannon.
or if he can't hear me.
Can't hear you. You want me to try? Steve? Hey, Steve.
Bannon. Hi.
Hey, there he is. He looked.
He's longer?
You got it.
Whenever.
What happened?
All right.
Explain to them what happened.
What, just now? A friend of ours talked to Steve Bannon, who she seems to know. Got his attention. Hard to do,
Talk to her later.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you the whole story.
No, okay. There's a okay. We'll hear it. And then there's Ivanka, and that's Jared Kushner, the son-in-law to Donald Trump. This is the stuff I really don't care about talking about, but that's who these people are. And all right, well, we got our question,
All right.
and we're going to pull
It's
out of
less
here
than
now.
14 million.
It's less than 14 million.
We're gonna get out of the pit.
Yeah.
I've been cross-checked like 15 times.
All right. All right, so now we go to...
We're gonna cut and then we'll come back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to cut now. We got Donald Trump, and now you're going to see another parade of surrogates coming in here. We're going to try and talk to them. This is the feel of what you get. There's Donald Trump Jr. Maybe we can try and get a word with him. So let's come over here. Hey, Donald. He's talking to Access Hollywood, but not to us.
Tell us some of Donald Trump's latest
They're a blur to me, Eric. He said something very recently.
Skittles.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He sent out these Skittles that if you took one of would you take one of these Skittles if you knew, in reference to Syrians, would you accept Syrian refugees? If you knew there were 3 poison Skittles in a bowl, would you take them out? That's exactly right, Eric. And of course, he was talking about Syrians and likening them, these refugees, to Skittles. Here comes Rudy Giuliani, and maybe we'll get to talk to the worst mayor. I'm allowed to say that, right? Okay.
I mean, the stop and frisk thing. Racial profiling does not lead to lower crime. If you look at cities where police misconduct, infamous police killings, the torture scandal in Chicago, Cleveland, any place where the police violence has destroyed trust between communities of color and police, crime goes up because it's very hard to solve a crime if it isn't going to be reported. It's very hard to prosecute when people are afraid to come forward and bear witness to crimes. So it's a multicultural nation. The good police chiefs, like the Police Executives Research Forum, looking them up, PERF, Police Executives Research Forum, they know that community policing is the only way to keep us safe. It's the best way, anyway, to keep us safe. And when you destroy trust between law enforcement and communities of color, you're not helping anybody. So just look at the crime statistics in cities that have good relationships, like Los Angeles and New York, good relationships with law enforcement versus cities like Chicago or Cleveland, or St. Louis or surrounding areas where that trust has been destroyed. Can you point out, Rudy? I don't see.
Yeah, he moved backwards a little bit and turned his back to us. Now, I mean, he went in a different direction, but he'll be out shortly.
All right, so let's bring it cut because we were told to cut every once in a while.
Oh, we were? Okay, so we can cut now.